The federal government has announced it will no longer seek the deportation of a former child refugee who was at risk of being sent back to a country he has no ties to. Abdul Abdi, who lived in foster care since coming to Canada with his aunt at the age of 6, never received his citizenship because Children's Aid did not obtain it on his behalf. Abdi was arrested and charged at the age of 18 for multiple offenses, including aggravated assault. But after serving nearly 5 years in prison, he was detained by Canadian Border Services earlier this year and threatened with deportation to Somalia, a country he hasn't seen since he was 3. Public Safety Minister Ralph Goodale tweeted out the government's new decision this evening, a day after a federal court ruled that Ottawa had ignored Abdi's charter rights and did not consider international law while seeking his deportation. The spokesperson for one youth advocacy group who intervened in Abdi's case says situations like his are not uncommon, and she hopes the high-profile case will highlight changes that need to be made to protect child refugees into adulthood.
We know that children who are raised in care are disproportionately involved in the criminal justice system and may find themselves facing criminal jeopardy more often than other young people. And as a result, because they don't have the protections of citizenship, they are made vulnerable to deportation. Mr. Abdi and many children who are in the same situation as Mr. Abdi, they don't have ties to countries where they have originated from. They've been raised in Canada. Canada is their home. And Canada had a responsibility to protect them, is obligated under the Charter and under international law to provide special assistance and protection to migrant children in its care. The Canadian government could certainly create policies that would make it easier for children in care to apply on their own behalf, or to make it easier for children's aid societies to apply on their behalf.
Abdi, who spent most of his life in foster homes throughout Nova Scotia, is now living in a halfway house in Toronto near his aunt. It's one of the conditions of his release.